Radio with the Florida Star with Will Neal live in the booth with special guests. Tune in and be blessed.
Jacksonville, what is up? It's your boy Will Neal. It is 8:30 on the dot. You're listening to Impact, sponsored by the Florida Star WCGL 94.7 FM. I'm your host, as I am each and every Tuesday, and we're so thankful for you tuning in this evening. We're also so thankful for you joining us each and every Thursday at 8:30 as well. Here on Impact, we are so excited to bring you the great news of those who are in our community striving to make a difference. That is our motto here at Impact. And we just, we honor all of you, all of our loyal listeners. Week in and week out, you guys support us as well. Don't forget, this is the 75th year of the Florida Star being in existence. And so, really quick for all of our loyal listeners, if you're tuning in tonight, we ask that you go ahead and go over to thefloridastar.com. That is thefloridastar.com. Log on and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the Florida Star via thefloridastar.com. Remember that on thefloridastar.com, we have a nice list of locations where you can get your physical copies of the Florida Star. Huge shout out to all of our mothers from this past week. Y'all know Mother's Day just passed. And so, just like everybody else, Will Neal, I was in the long lines. I'm not going to lie. I was in the long after church. Mothers and aunties, DJ Will, like, Will, you was in there out there by yourself. But guess what? I ain't going to lie. I was there, me and my mom, my sister, and my nephews and my niece. We were just there, just enjoying ourselves, having a great time, being thankful for the blessing of moms and blessing of motherhood here in the United States, but even more so for the blessing of just family. And so, huge shout out to all the mothers who were celebrated this past weekend, and a huge shout out to those who are continuing to remember their moms, even if their moms might not be here anymore. We know that mothers have paved the way for us. So on the heels of that, we want to thank you who have continued to support the Florida Star and the efforts that we make to highlight not just mothers, but brothers, sisters, whoever is in our community. Please make sure that you know that our effort and our agenda is to take 10% of your paid subscription to the Florida Star and donate that to the church or nonprofit of your choice. Whoever you choose to, we will send that 10th of that subscription to the church or nonprofit of your choice. The Florida Star Impact, striving to make a difference. Guys, you know, each and every week, Will Neal is going to hop on here. We're going to talk that good talk. As I always say, we're going to talk that talk. We're going to talk about the walk. But we're going to even more so highlight people who are not just talking the talk, but the people who are walking the walk, actually making that striving. And striving is something, we talk about it here on the Florida Star, but sometimes we don't highlight the fact that strive it's filled with perseverance. It's filled with what my coaches used to say, stick-to-itiveness. It's filled with those things that you learn are just character traits that are necessary to stay locked in, to stay in the game, to stay pushing. And so, guys, tonight, y'all know as Will Neal is someone who's not just, a person who sits on this platform and run my mouth. I'm a musician. I'm a all of that creative. So when I get to sit and talk with creative people, I'm so overjoyed. I'm so excited when I get to sit and talk with artists, when I get to talk with creators, when I get to talk to proclaimers of the good news who just happen to create art in the name of God. That's the way I look at it. I think it's just a great opportunity to do so. And so tonight, guys, we have someone who is here in the city of Jacksonville now. He's not from here, but he's here. So in my book, he's a Jacksonvillian, right?
Yes, sir.
But I'm just so excited for him. He's here with his lovely wife, but he's here. He's the man. He's the soon-to-be legend. Y'all know I like to edify
glory
the guests to just highlight who they are and what they bring to the table. Guys, he's none other than Mr. Lawrance Perez. Brother Lawrence, how you doing tonight, man?
Oh man, bro, I'm on cloud 11, 13, 99. Yeah, man. But well, first thing before I even say anything about me, man,
Yes,
I just want to glorify God, bro.
Yes, sir. That's real.
You know, he woke me up today. He gave me life. He gives me new life every day.
Come on, you better talk that talk, dude.
He gave me a beautiful family. He gave me my wife, my son.
Wow.
And without him, man, I ain't nothing but dust, bro.
Come on.
So I'm just grateful to be here, and it's a privilege to be used, bro.
Yes, sir. So real quick, we were speaking briefly for a little time before we came on and started really diving in tonight. But talk about Lawrence, the man from Pennsylvania, the young man from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Before the transition to Jacksonville. What was that like?
Oh man, well, I was born and raised in Lancaster, PA, 1999.
Come on.
I just made the cut.
Okay.
Glory. Just made the cut. Just made the 90s team. So people be trying to count me out, but you know what? I was 2 months before the cut. In Jesus' name.
Right.
So I'm the youngest of 4.
Wow.
I got a shout out to the family back north.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to my older brother Lewis, my older sisters Lorraine and Leah.
Yes, sir.
My mother Loida, and my father Lewis.
Yes, sir.
They all were a pinnacle point in my life, and all in their own kind of way.
Yes, sir.
I've been there since 2020. And to tell you the truth, man, like this is the first time that like I'm actually like having to reflect back in real time, you know, about like where you come from and stuff like that. So before Jacksonville, before Florida, man, I was lost at sea, bro.
Yes, sir.
I was just living in the world, man. I just was so lost, and you know, I was staying with my moms at the time, and just going around, bouncing around from house to house for a little while. Yes, but I know that God, what he does is he takes what the enemy meant for evil and he uses it for the good of those who love him.
Better talk it.
You know what I mean?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And so I feel like with that transition, you know, God doesn't take anything and use it to waste.
Come on.
You know, he, in his eyes, everything has a purpose.
I love it.
Even in the pain.
Yes, sir.
And even in uncertainty.
Yes, sir.
Especially in the last maybe 2019, 2020 era, that was uncertainty for not just me, but for the world.
Oh, wow.
Not shout out COVID-19, but COVID-19 had an effect on everybody.
A whole chokehold.
Man, it hit him with the Rey Mysterio type.
Yes, okay. He taking it back.
Yeah,
come
man.
on, Mysterio.
I used to watch WWE back in the days.
Okay.
You said PA, so that's what I used to do, man.
Yes, sir.
I used to be a kid that was always outside, not in that manner, but you know the terminology today.
Yeah.
But just I used to be outside. You know, I like to ride bikes, hang out with the friends, stuff like that, man. But when I got introduced to the Lord, man, I kind of grew up in the church, but when I encountered him myself, I was 16.
Wow.
Columbia, Pennsylvania, Mount Zion African Methodist Church is where I gave my life to the Lord.
Wow.
And it was crazy too, man, because earlier that same day, I think I was playing basketball with one of my good friends, and he was telling me that there was like this youth event going on later that same evening, and because the church was right up the street, I was just like, I guess I'll show up because you're going.
Right.
And then I don't remember what happened that evening, man, but all I just remembered ending up was kneeling at the altar, bro.
Wow.
Like night and day.
Yes, sir.
And from that moment on, I knew that he called me, man, and I've been trying to follow him ever since, man, day by day, trying to decrease so he can increase.
Yes, sir.
And just trying to be more like him.
That's real. And you spoke about making that transition from where you were outside of being a believer and the influence of others on your life, your friends, those who are close to you. I think we underestimate what that looks like for everyone. Sometimes people talk about, well, it don't take all that. You shouldn't have to go to this. You shouldn't have to go. Well, ideally, none of us should have had to go down certain roads.
Of course.
But at the same time, what a blessing it is to know that no matter what your background, no matter what you've been through, and to be honest, if most believers were to be honest, even those of us who, myself included, who grew up going to church, grew up being church folk, we underestimate the real influence that the world systems, the world around us can have on us outside of just being church people.
Yes, sir.
And how that affects our lives. So I'm huge shout out to you and your willingness to be transparent in that way.
Definitely.
And for the just if not for anything but for the testimony of those who hear this, guys. If you're hearing this young man is very dynamic. I mean, when I say that, we've had some in-depth conversation even before this conversation that you guys are hearing before we even came on. But I'm just so excited to see where you are, hearing your story, even in short, you're a father, you're a husband, you're a new creature, right? But you're here, man, and you're pursuing the things that God has put in you to pursue, man. So huge shout out to you, huge hats off to you. And guys, with that, it's right at about 8:41. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, guys, we're gonna speak a little bit more to Mr. Lawrance Perez. We want to get into Mr. Lawrance Perez as the worship leader, because I know that that's a big part of your life now, and where you're at and where you're headed. So guys, stay locked in. We're gonna take a quick break here on Impact, sponsored by the Florida Star, WCGL 94.7 FM. We will be right back.
Do you know what media received the first Eagle Award by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for being the most factual? The Florida Star. Do you know which media solely addresses issues of concern for African Americans? The Florida Star. Do you know which media carries local, state, national, and international news regarding African Americans? The Florida Star. Do you know the only media that carries a special section for our youth at home and the schedule for 3 black television networks? Now you know. The Florida Star. Northeast Florida's largest, oldest, and most read African American newspaper, serving since 1951 in more than 200 locations. The Florida Star. News you can use, news you can trust. The people's choice, striving to make a difference. Subscribe today. Call 766-8834. That's 766-8834. Pick up the Florida Star at over 200 locations, or to have it delivered, call 766-8834. The Florida Star, speaking truth to power.
We are back, y'all, here on Impact, sponsored by the Florida Star, WCGL 94.7 FM. I'm your host, Will Neal, and it is so great to be here with you once again on this beautiful Tuesday evening, guys. We're about almost halfway through the month of May. Huge shout out to you, the loyal supporters who have supported us here at the Florida Star. 75 years, guys. Last month was the 75th anniversary, and it marked the 75th anniversary of the Florida Star being here in North Florida, South Georgia area. So we're so thankful for that. But tonight, guys, we are speaking with the man himself, Brother Lawrance Perez. He is very dynamic. He does his thing, and when I say he does his thing, he does it very well. He is right here in the city of Jacksonville via the Pennsylvania area, but he's here now. He's a family man. He's really locked in. He's got his wonderful wife here with him supporting, but at the same time, he is someone, not only is he a man with a story, but he's a man with a vision. He's a man with direction. And for you, man, that direction has taken you into the area of leading worship, of offering your gift that God has put in you for music, and making that something that you pretty much have yielded to and offer as service back to God and render that back to him in many capacities. But talk first of all how you got into music, man.
Oh, man. Well, I guess music really started for me when I would have to say I was probably about 6 or 7 years old. I just loved to sing, and I wasn't sure if I was good. And then I kind of became aware that I had a little tune, like I was able to carry a note at the age of probably 8 or 9. I was in like choir in elementary school. I had my first solo probably 3rd grade. I ain't gonna lie, I think we might have been singing about flowers in the field. But shout out to the lilies of the valley though, because they dressed and they look nice, man. So But when it comes to the music, man, I mean, you mentioned vision. It's funny you say that enough. I don't mean to say this to promote it, but
certainly,
I actually wrote a song called Vision, and I had performed it a week after we had found out my wife was pregnant.
Wow.
And the song is called Vision.
Wow.
And the song pretty much just encompasses like, without the vision of God, the people perish.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so for me, like when it comes to doing music, right, and being a worship leader, I think that to be a true worship leader, it has nothing to do with a mic and an instrument,
yes,
but
sir.
a life you live, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not necessarily about like, you know, being in front of people, but you know, what you look like and what your life looks like when people aren't watching.
Yes, sir.
You know, and for me, man, music was just one of those things that before Christ, man, I really wanted to be an instrument for the world.
Wow.
When I first moved to Florida too, man, I had these visions and these dreams about like going to American Idol and X Factor, The Voice, stuff
yes,
like
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, man, like I actually tried to do like a virtual audition for American Idol and nothing ever came from it. And I think what I realize is that the blessings of God doesn't just come in the doors that open, but it's the ones that he keeps closed.
Yeah, he talking.
You know,
he
and
talking.
at the end of it,
he
like
talking good.
the God sees around the corner when we can only see to the corner.
Man.
And sometimes like I know that I have to trust that my life is in better position if I yield to his plan rather than mine. And so with the whole music thing, man, like a lot of these opportunities that have just been kind of coming about, you know, they kind of started coming recently, man. And I've just been asking God, like, Lord, please just give me the green light for which ones you want me to walk to, because we got to
steps.
Yeah, man, because we got to remember too, bro. Like, not everything good is God.
Oh,
you know, because remember, the tree of evil, of knowledge of good and evil, was
yes,
in
sir.
the garden. So just because it's good, that doesn't mean it's for you.
Yes,
so me just
sir.
trying to be yielded to that, and just trying to invite him, man, and just let him take the wheel.
Listen, I don't know if y'all picking up what he putting down, but DJ Will, this is some good stuff, man.
Amen.
Y'all, if you just tuning in, if you're just hopping on, if you're riding in the car, if you're at the gas station, if you're sitting, I don't know, at the red light, wherever you at, we got brother Lawrance Perez. He is right here in the city of Jacksonville by way of Pennsylvania, and he's been here for a few years, but it's as if you speak as someone, and I say this because I know the spirit that's driving you, but you're speaking as someone who is very clear about where God has you and where he's taking you. Even if you were talking about not knowing, even before we got on air, about not knowing exactly everything that God is doing or even has done, or the purpose behind it, so to speak. But it's almost like it's not even for us to have to figure out.
No,
it's
not
as
at all.
if he allows just the revealing of it to happen. And so, you know, you're the creative, you're the father, you're the husband. You made this stride, you made this effort to follow where God is leading you with, even with the music. A few minutes ago, you spoke about one of your songs, but there's a song that I don't know. Is this one that we were listening to? Is that one out just yet?
Yes, the one that we were just listening to, that one is out. Yeah, that's Holy 3X.
Holy 3X. Because guys, we're gonna get that played here in a little bit. But I want you, we got a few more minutes before we have to take our next break. But talk about the motivation behind Holy 3X.
Oh man. Holy 3X for me was something that I kind of stumbled upon.
Okay.
At one moment, I was just at our home. I have a studio at the house, and I was just really just sitting in the studio for probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I was just going through some stuff, man. And I was just trying to listen to some samples that I wanted to try to potentially write to, but nothing was clicking. And then I decided to turn off the computer and pick up my Bible. And
sheesh,
the first thing
I need to try that.
The first thing that I ended up just turning to, I said to myself, Lord, I want you to speak to me, and I'm gonna open this Bible up, and then whatever you point me to, I'm gonna make something from it.
Yes, sir.
And it opened up to Isaiah, and it talked about the angels that were surrounding the throne of God, and all they were declaring is His holiness.
Wow.
And I just sat there for like 10, 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden I just started to hear, holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy is he. Holy is God Almighty. And this would be the very first song that I actually intentionally tried to make describing the attributes of God, describing the things and the posture of God and all the things that would help people who are not believers to hear these words that could be like, I'd never heard God described in that manner.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Man, that's loaded. That's loaded. I mean, for somebody to say, you know what, God, I'm going to turn off this computer. I'm going to shut down Logic. I'm going to shut down, and I'm just going to hear through your word.
Yeah, man.
That is amazing, y'all. This guy he's a true servant. He's not only a worship leader in the sense that what we may think, because you said something a few minutes ago about it not just being about the platform as far as in front of the people. It's about the day-to-day journey that guides you and gives you inspiration even in those moments. Guys, this is the one and only, the man himself, Brother Lawrance Perez. He's right here in the city of Jacksonville. He's got a new single, Holy 3X, and we're going to play that before we leave tonight. But guys, I want to take a moment, one more moment. It's right at 8:51 on the dot. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Brother Lawrance Perez. You're listening to Impact, sponsored by the Florida Star, WCGL 94.7 FM. We will be right back.
Now you know the Florida Star, Northeast Florida's largest and oldest, most read African-American newspaper, serving since 1951 in more than 200 locations. The Florida Star, news you can use, news you can trust, the people's choice, striving to make a difference. The Florida Star is serving over 230,000 African-Americans living in Northeast Florida that generate $5.2 billion in buying power. Read the Florida Star weekly newspaper and find out where your money's being spent and on what. Read the Florida Star and learn what your city and state representatives are doing on your behalf. Read the Florida Star and learn how to support your neighborhood businesses. Read the Florida Star and learn how to receive city health and community services. The Florida Star received the first Eagle Award by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for being most factual. The Florida Star solely addresses issues of concerns for African Americans. The Florida Star carries local, state, national, and international news regarding African Americans. Subscribe today at 904-766-8834. The Florida Star, speaking truth to power.
We are back here on Impact, sponsored by the Florida Star, WCGL 94.7 FM. I'm your host, Will Neal. It's so great to be here with you once again on this wonderful Tuesday evening. Guys, huge shout out to you, the loyal listeners and supporters, for continuing to support us. Going on 75 years. We've been here in the state of Florida, North Florida and South Georgia for 75 years, striving to make a difference, featuring and presenting those who are doing so in our community. We got somebody here tonight, who is the very epitome and embodiment of what that looks like. His name is Brother Lawrance Perez. Guys, he's got this new single, Holy 3X. It's dynamic. I heard it when I heard DJ Will was like, man, you got to hear this song. When I heard it, I was like, wow, this brother really makes it happen when it comes to presenting what God has given him. And so I just huge shout out to you for that. But
thank you.
Before we leave, we spoke about your journey, and when we were off air, you're talking about what I had mentioned with this whole idea of vision and how much that spoke to you coming to Jacksonville. Elaborate a little bit more on that, man.
Yeah, so when you mentioned the word vision, man, it took me all the way back to 2019. I was living in Mountville, Pennsylvania with my mother. This was a year after my mom got hit by a car. She almost died.
Wow.
And it was a really, really tough time for our family, especially for her physically, man. And even still to this day, it's played a toll. But one of the things that was happening around 2019 was I had been setting my alarm. Well, first of all, backtrack. I had been having this dream. All I saw was a highway. And I had nothing else. And I was having this dream for weeks at a time. Eventually, I go up to my mother's room and I'm talking to her. I'm like, Mom, I got to share this with you. I don't know why I keep having this dream. And I tell her about the highway and it's not making sense. And she basically tells me, she was like, well, son, it seems like God is trying to tell you that he wants you to go somewhere. And so I tell her about this dream, and she was basically telling me that, well, if you want to go places that you've never been, you have to do things you've never done. So from November 2019 to February 2020, I had been setting my alarm every Sunday to go to this church in Lancaster, PA, where I'm from. It's called Brightside Baptist Church.
Okay.
Every single Sunday, I had been pressing snooze, and then I'll go next Sunday, keep putting it off.
Yes, sir.
So 3 months pass. February, I want to say 15th, 16th comes by, and my alarm goes off. I press snooze, and I say to myself, you've been saying this for I don't even know how long. And I felt the conviction of the Holy Spirit come upon me, man. I got up, I got in my car. I don't even think I brushed my teeth that morning. I show up to the church. I go up there. Now, the way the church is set up, I'll try to be quick. The sanctuary is on the second floor. The lobby's on the first floor.
Okay.
Because there's only 20 minutes left in the service, there's nobody downstairs but one person. Shout out to Bishop McDowell from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. God was using him as a vessel to get to me, but I was trying to get away from him.
Wow.
So check this out. As we're conversing, he asks me, where are you from? Are you in school? What are you doing? I tell him where I graduate from. Shout out McCaskey High School, Lancaster, PA. I told him the year I graduated, 2018, and he recognized me. He was like, oh my gosh, you're the kid that sang at the graduation. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, man, I feel like this is God. So he basically asks me for the following Saturday. He said, we have an event for Black History Month. We need a pianist and a vocalist to come play because the ones they had, they backed out. So I ended up getting the contact information. I end up doing the little gig for them. And then I meet this woman that following Saturday at the church. Her name is Donna Burnside. She's like the aunt grandmom I never had. And she actually lives in St. John's. Well, actually, she lives in Gainesville now. But she was the vessel that God used to bring me to Florida.
Man.
4 months later, June 15th, 2020.
Man.
And here's the craziest part. If I would have stayed in bed that Sunday, I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you.
Man, that's a word right there.
And to coming back to the highway image, I didn't have money for a plane ticket, and I had a Mazda 3 Sport hatchback. So when I made the decision to move here, I came in my Mazda 3 Sport hatchback, and all I saw was 95.
Y'all listen.
Nothing but highway, man.
DJ Will, you know how I get about stuff like this, man. What that shows you is manifestation of what God revealed to you.
Yes, sir.
And man, huge shout out to you. I'm floored right now. When I hear stories like that, it makes me, it strengthens my faith. It encourages me in where I am. Of course, we all say we believe God, but to what degree are you willing to act on what God is showing you?
Faith without works is dead.
Man, y'all better know it.
It's
Y'all,
dead,
we got
bro.
Brother Lawrence Perez in the building. He doing his thing.
Glory.
Man, listen. And I'm gonna tell you something. His wonderful wife is here with him. She really holding it down for him. And we love it, man. To see you guys work as a team, man. Huge shout out to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to being a father, man. Shout out to everything about where you at, man. But before we go, guys, please know that you're listening to Impact, sponsored by the Florida Star, WCGL 94.7 FM. Remember that you can pick up a copy of the Florida Star at over 200 locations here in North Florida, South Georgia. Also, remember that when you subscribe to the Florida Star, 10% of your paid subscription goes to the Florida Star, our associated church or nonprofit of your choice. So whatever church nonprofit you want 10% of that subscription to go to, it's gonna be done on your behalf. Guys, thank you so much. Brother Lawrence, thank you for being here. But guys, on our way out, we are going to hear. All right. Oh, also, real quick before we play the single, social media.
Oh yeah, my YouTube is just Lawrence Perez, LAWRANCE. We keep it government. My TikTok is Lawrence Perez as well, and then my Instagram handle is _keep_your_head up_3x.
Listen, guys, on our way out, we want to make sure that you hear this wonderful song. This is an amazing, man, it's a tribute to the wonderful power of God, the way he gave it to us and the way he's continuing to show forth his power in our lives as well as the life of this brother here, Brother Lawrance Perez. Thank you so much for joining us, Brother Lawrence. Guys, continue to be uplifted in your hearts. Continue to remember that here at Impact, we are always striving to make a difference. Until next time, take care. God bless. And coming up next here in a few minutes, we're going to hear this amazing song, Holy 3X.
The sound.
The worship.
The movement.
How we doing, guys? It's Axel with the Sound Worship Movement. And what does worship mean to me? Well, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 20 says that we were bought at a price, therefore to honor God with our bodies. And yes, worship is praise, and we come together and worship God and, praise Him through songs or just the goodness that He is. But to me, worship has also always been a lifestyle, from how we treat others to what we feed ourselves and just the way that we carry ourselves. But of course, none of us are perfect, and we're not called to be perfect, but we can definitely live lives worthy of honoring God.
Well, I think the purpose of the sound worship movement comes from the Word of God. It says how He inhabits the praises of His people. So if we don't open up our mouths and we don't confess the praises unto God, then how could He live in us? I think the purpose is to build a space where He can dwell, not just on a street corner in a building, but in the temples that He gave us. So this is the sound worship movement.
Eyes like fire, staring deep down in my soul. He took the blame when I'm the one to blame for my sins and my wrong. How great and marvelous is the great I am. Angels surround the throne of God.